Now, let's talk about these things because you fast forward into your career, you're still in the industry, right? Mm-hmm. And we hear so many times we deal with colorism, not just racism, but we deal with colorism, right? Mm-hmm. We deal with hairism. That's a word I made up, but we deal with it, right? We deal with these things, and sometimes we get typecast, and you start to develop your own lane, and you say, you know what, I'm gonna do a reality show before reality shows are reality show.
Yes.
So talk to me about that. How the heck did that happen?
Well, you know what? Actually, I'm going to give that credit to, at the time I had a friend, and he was in the industry, and he's the one hit me up once back then. He said, you know what? The internet's going to blow up.
He was ahead of the curve.
Yes, he was. I'm going to give him credit. He said that. And he was like, he thought reality shows was going to hit too.
Yeah.
He was like, let's do something.
Okay.
And at the time, you know, he just came up with, you know, the concept. It was his concept, and he wanted to know if I would produce it and be on it. And I said, I've never produced, but I would love to produce. And something in me tells me that you're right.
Yeah.
And we did a show called Creating Celebrity.
Okay.
Right? And it was phenomenal. It was wonderful. And sure enough, it was funny because it took we got a lot of pushback at first from the show.
Yeah, because it's new.
People was just like, the reality.
No. We're doing real life. We're not making up life.
Exactly.
Now look at us now.
Right. And then it turned around. It was like, wow, you know, just something that was just like now is something that is regular. So that's how that came about. And I realized then I kind of like producing. Okay. I did. And so I got into, you know, producing other stuff like live events as well, and, you know, some projects a little bit.
Yeah.
So, you know, keep myself in acting. I didn't go in front of the camera as much anymore, just because I didn't quite like what the industry was presenting.
I understand. Let's get into that right now. Because obviously I've watched like 10 minutes of Roots. I can't watch it. Okay. This is me.
Yeah,
y'all can take my card. It's fine.
I understand.
Because I don't like the way we portray it sometimes.
Yes.
Right? So you coming into the industry in a movie like this, right? That everybody sees and knows, and you might be like, we not all like this. But some of your realities did parallel to what you're playing. So how much is it a part to where you're like, okay, I want to control this narrative and I want to show it so other people may be connecting with it and may be able to get help or fight through it. But I also don't want to be a part of this.
This isn't okay. So that's a good point, what you're saying, because what a lot of people get confused with The Color Purple and why it is so iconic. And when I tell you I have fans that's coming from, speaking languages I don't even know.
Right.
Because no matter where you was at, there was a Celie somewhere.
Yes.
And I recognize even in my life that character.
Right.
But what happens is during that time in Hollywood, you didn't get an all-black cast.
Correct.
That was backed by a studio.
Yes.
That was on the platform in which The Color Purple was.
Yes.
So we opened the door.
Yes.
So that film, when Alice Walker wrote that book and that story, she shared a story that was
very personal,
very
in-depth.
Yes, it was deep.
Yes.
It was beyond just that, you know, about a black country girl.
Right.
So, and then when the studios took it, and when I said we not only broke barriers, because remember at that time you had, what is that? It slips me right now. There was protesting.
Yeah.
NAACP.
Yes.
There was protesting, all this stuff. People didn't want to see that.
Right.
But what happened was you now had, because of the success of The Color Purple, all black cast and a woman cast, and it was talking about, you know, topics that wasn't being dealt with.
Taboo topics, and within, not just in Hollywood, but in
you
life
open
and family.
them doors.
Yeah.
Doors open. The black films that we have today have to, you know,
pay homage to that. You can't have Wakanda Forever without Color Purple because of what's going on in it. You got an all black cast in a time where they were not hitting the green light, and they weren't saying, "Oh, this will work." They were saying, we're going to put a little money into it. And what happened? We blow the roof off. Now you got people like Deion Taylor. You got all of these people that are, you know, able to let their creative juices flow. And that's what
The Color Purple, for me, like when you look at it, you know, that's what it's about. So like, I did The Color Purple, but then, you know, like coming into it and again, auditions, there was a lot of colorism.
Yes.
There was a lot of issues that was hitting that I hear these actors now talking about. And I said, didn't I tell y'all that?
Yeah.
And I was like, and then you're not, it's not like you getting paid.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that kind of thing. People thought of actors. So when I looked at it at that point, I left for my mental health.
Okay.
There was a lot going on. I needed to stop.
Yes.
And I even went to film school for a moment, and I wanted to get my degree in directing. I wanted to be able to contribute better, even though it was a hard door at that time to kind of get into.
So you saw the problem. You like, okay, I want to be part of the solution.
And I started a business too. I was like, I saw the problem. I was like, okay, this is not where your money's going to be. You're going to get fame. You're going to get, but if you really want to do something, for me, I was a child.
Yeah.
I didn't have
Then you didn't have an agent and any of those things. So I'm sure your deal wasn't the best situation.
Oh, well, in Color Purple, no, my deal was pretty damn good.
Hold on one second. We have a bell for that. We're going to hit the bell for that.
I didn't know until years later when I heard the other actors complaining. I was like,
oh, hold on. That's not my ministry.
No.
But all right.
I was like, well, one of the reasons my deal was so good, if we're going to talk about money, was because there's a rule in, I guess SAG had it, that in order for you to be paid to a certain scale level, you had to have done just one thing.
Okay.
Even if a commercial. It's the way they, I guess, put a cap on something. So I was starting a movie, but I had never done anything in Hollywood.
So I
hit a cap.
There you go.
But I don't know who it was, whether it was Spielberg. I felt it was because I kept getting these bonus checks from, I just kept getting these fucking bonus. I mean.
So after the movie's done. You talk about it's playing, it's going, and you go to the mailbox like, whoa, hold on, happy birthday.
You know where those came from? $100K. It was
I'm gonna tell you where it came from. They came from you deciding to eat only at school, and your mama trading the grocery money to get these. These are called dues. You're gonna pay them one way or another. Some people hit Hollywood or they get fame easily, right? They get boom. I did this. They out there, boom, and then years later, you watch them, and I'm not talking about anybody specifically. I don't want to catch cancel. You see them and they going crazy, or you see them and they like not living their best life. They're paying those dues after they got paid. To me, this is just my own personal opinion. You paid those dues early. You weren't given anything. You use your talent, your pain, and your therapeutic means to get to it, and then you got on. So now you're getting these bonus checks. When you come to the mailbox, and it's not $10. It's way more than that. It's a few zeros. So that's awesome.
That's what it was. And I used it wisely. I opened up. I was 16. I opened up my first beauty supply store. Started getting into business and started buying real estate with the money. And
you're changing generationally. You're changing wealth. You're buying real estate, but you came over here homeless.
Yeah.
I don't think they heard you. Let me hit the button again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sure did. Okay. And even though I got out the industry, I guess. Okay. So
you got from in front of the camera.
Yeah, I got from front of the camera, went behind the camera.